Welcome to the Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting for 3/5/2024. Prior to starting our meeting, we always invite local clergy to come and lead us in prayer. This morning is no exception. Michael Brandenburg is here with Greenbush Baptist Church. Michael, thanks for being here today, and the podium's yours.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's an honor to be here. Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you today asking for your guidance, your wisdom, and your support as we begin this meeting for all that have gathered in this chamber. And we pray that you open our hearts and minds to receive your plans and your purpose. And may your Spirit guide us in making wise decisions and lead toward the best outcomes. Reset our agendas to align with yours as we sit in your presence today. Recalibrate our intentions and refocus our hearts. We ask you, Lord, to restore, renew, and reinvigorate all of our places of worship as they would thrive and be fruitful, as well as all public and private institutions, our schools, our businesses, large and small, manufacturing and service, to thrive and be blessed. Lord, we ask that these deliberations held and decisions made in this chamber here today and every day, Lord, will be for public welfare and for good. And we ask that Clermont County will live up to all of its potential and become the place which you have desired it to be and the purpose that you have ordained it to be and founded it to be. We ask, Lord, what occurs in Clermont County will be so astounding that your blessings are so great that the cup of this county will overflow to each and all counties and its citizens all across the state of Ohio and all of America. Lord, we ask that what is about to take place here in Batavia will command the attention of many and bring an influx of capital, investment, and resources, both material and immaterial, that Clermont County will be an example to counties across the land of what it looks like to receive the favor and blessing from your loving hand, and which others will look to and wish to emulate and receive. We ask this all, Lord, and that your Holy Spirit guide and bless these commissioners and all the other servants, civil and public servants, and may God bless Clermont County with the blessings and many more. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Batchelor, you lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will start on our approved agenda. Meeting's been called to order. Letter B is approval of regular session minutes for 2/26/2025. Board, you've had these minutes early, had an opportunity to review them. You've had an opportunity to see if there needs to be any revisions or clarifications. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Well, it looks like we have some new employees here this morning. I'm going to move up staff and elected official discussion here and go to new employee intros. So we've got a few people we want to introduce here. Angie Livesay is up first to introduce some new kennel employees. Morning.
I'm excited to introduce two of our new staff members. We actually have three, but one of them was not able to make it today. But I'm introducing Margot Light, who's our new kennel supervisor. Margot has worked at a few different humane societies. She's worked in some vet offices. She worked at a vet eye doctor, and she's done some traveling education as well and has some management experience. So Margot and Caitlin have both been here since February. Caitlin has worked at a couple different places as well. She's also been a vet assistant. Most recently, Caitlin knows this is the part that I think is so cool. She worked, I'm so sorry. She worked at the Cincinnati Zoo. So I've asked her every question I can think of related to zoo animals. So we're excited to have both of them. And then this is Ranger, who's making quite an appearance today.
Look at this.
All right. All right. We can
Well,
go.
thanks.
Glad you came.
Thanks for coming today and welcome to Clermont County. You bet. Next up is Fleet Maintenance. Jessica Powell.
Good morning.
Morning.
Pop that, Jesse.
I know. Come on, Chuck, do something. I'd like to
No,
introduce-
no climbing on the furniture.
Spider-Man. This is Chuck Vogel. He's our new mechanic for fleet maintenance. He's a long-term resident of Clermont County. He's been a mechanic for 28 years and pretty much just grew up as a mechanic. So we're happy to have him here, and we'd love to say hello.
Welcome.
Mr. Vogel, thanks for joining the team at Clermont County. Glad to have you. You bet. You too.
Photo op?
Any other new employee?
Are you doing the photo?
Huh?
Make sure we do the photo.
Yeah, let's see. Hey, Jessica.
Jessica? Get him back. We'll stay
Get him
up
back
here. You want to stay up?
Yeah. If you guys want to assemble right here in the front, we'll do a photo.
Angie, how old?
Hi, buddy.
It's a standard. Oh. Let's go. Good there?
Good. You want to go? Which way?
We're good.
All right, up here, we'll go 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1.
Good. Thank you.
I think he had a good time, didn't you?
So where's my toy? Where's my treat?
Yeah, he's a good boy, though. It's a good one. Any other new employees? We will move on with our regular agenda. Letter C is public participation.
You may have it under your thing.
Do.
Do you have it, Bonnie?
No, it was here.
Okay.
Was it?
Here it is.
Somebody had it. Thanks. And we've reached the public participation section of the agenda. During this time, the board does not answer questions nor debate in a debate. No member of the public may comment about a matter that's not within the purview of the county commissioner's responsibilities. The commissioners are not expected to comment on matters brought to the board. However, they are free to comment. Each speaker shall only speak once and be recognized by the board president before speaking in accordance with the rules. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes, and the public participation section will be limited to 30 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? Please state your name and your address.
Julie Tolliver from Batavia Township. Good morning. First, I would like to thank anyone here from the League for Animal Welfare. No, well, I'd like to thank the League for coming to the table with the commissioners. It sounds like the League sees some structures to start making some improvements. Maybe you're aware, maybe you're not, but there was a press piece that was published that talked about some of this conflict that we've had around the animal shelter. Unfortunately, rather than building a coalition, the press piece casted the dog advocates' frustration in a terribly negative light and the commissioners in only positive light. Lack of clear and open communication over a long period of time has played a huge part in that understandable frustration. Advocates have felt like they've been banging their head against the wall, and for good reason. Now, it would be great if we could draw a line in the sand between what has been and what there will be going forward. And I do look forward to positive progress starting now. Like I said, the League seemed to think that there's some potential there. Let's roll with it. I'd like to agree that we can use this time as a starting point to move forward, hopefully in a more collaborative and more positive way for the dogs. I don't want to minimize the wisdom of looking back to see how we got in this tumultuous spot. I think we need to learn from our past, and I'm confident it'll be thoroughly analyzed and the lessons well documented. Let's find a way to build this coalition. I'm happy to talk to anyone who's willing to help create a positive path forward. I have no baggage on this issue. We're Americans. We're resilient. We can mend fences, and we love dogs. Speaking of nonpartisan community issues, Ohio Senate Bill 56 proposes drastic changes to the marijuana law created by the ballot initiative in 2023 by a strong majority of Ohio voters. First, I want to point out that our state has talked about legal marijuana for quite some time. In fact, 2015 was the last ballot initiative to legalize recreational weed. We, the voters, killed it because it wasn't good for our community. It was a good law for big business and big government, but not good for the people. Since I last talked about this here, the Senate passed it and it moves now through the House. One change of a couple from the original, the tax increase and reallocation have been removed. At first glance, that seemed like a good thing. However, the governor's budget, instead of increasing that tax from 10 to 15%, which is now dropped from the bill, increases it in the budget from 10 to 20%, doubles the tax. Doubles the tax. The language is pretty generic, but right now, as it is in what the voters voted in, about equal parts, give or take, there's a Cannabis Social Equity and Jobs Fund, which supports social equity initiatives and job programs. 36% for the Host Community Cannabis Fund, which benefits communities like ours that host dispensaries like we do. 25% Substance Abuse and Addiction Fund, which funds education and addiction treatment programs, which is a fantastic way to help support the consequences from the ongoing opioid crisis. Some administrative tax. So they want to double the tax, and then that money, rather than going into those three distinct buckets with a little bit for administrative costs, we've got 25% for jail construction and renovations. We've got peace officer training, substance use education, law enforcement training, on and on and on, poison control and lab testing. It's all general kind of slush fund things. It's not the targeted programs that the voters specifically wrote in to that ballot initiatives. The big thing they're touting is, $50. We're going to pledge $50 to help get old possession charges expunged. Like that's a big deal after doubling taxes. So taking the revenue that the citizens voted on to be positive for our local communities, our big bloated government wants to double the tax and take it to use to control our communities even more. Please let Gene Schmidt and Adam Bird know this isn't what the voters want. We want to take care of our communities. We feel like we can do that locally better than corrupt state legislature can. We don't want them to raise our taxes. If we wanted 20%, we would have put it on the ballot. So call them, write about budget line item for the marijuana tax, leave it alone. Back to the bill itself, the voters spoke. Why do our representatives feel the need to second guess us? More to follow. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead. Tell us who you are and where you live.
My name is Christopher Hicks. I live at 444 Woodward Court, Cincinnati, Ohio. Thanks for the opportunity to talk. This is the first woman that spoke. I don't know you. Before I get into my stuff, I just think that maybe this spring we should have a color revolution of citizen participation, but we got to get sharper. It's not going to help to come talk to them about stuff that's not their purview. Okay. It's not going to help to be glad handing government. I'm telling you, we can talk out in the hall afterwards, but anybody that believes that the only time you're going to know anything's going to change at the shelter is when one of these people come to this podium and say they were wrong and they're going to fix it. They're like Zelensky talking with Trump. Okay, nothing's going to get resolved. Now, the reason that I am here, though, is because I was kind of shocked on Monday, Mr. Painter. With your behavior, and I'm going to get to that. Our government here in Clermont County has been rife with corruption and fraud for a long time. And I'm not just somebody that comes up and says that. I've been involved with weeding it out. And I just have written down here, we have a engineer, Pat Monger, who was enriching himself in his office. We have David Ubel, the county commissioner, who frauded his petitions. We have Jesse Kramig, the judge that was using his subordinate for sexual gratification in and out of the courthouse on the taxpayer's dime. But it goes beyond that. We have what I call maybe minor government people. We had Greg Carson, who was a government person in, I think, where the Purina factory is, Williamsburg Township. And he was embezzling from senior services. And that largely got covered up. We have Greg Simpson, who was on the Port Authority, threatened my son and me, got covered up. You can go watch the interview of him lying left, right, up, down, and center to law enforcement in this county. The amount of corruption, the amount of lack of character, the amount of lack of ethics and morality is disgusting. Why do you bother to have a minister come in and give a prayer? Is it just window dressing? So what happened on Monday? There's something going on that what I would describe as an anonymous swift boat of a good person. And in a meeting on Monday, David Painter was asked, will you condemn anonymous swift boating? Swift boating, go look it up if you want, of people. Anonymous. I'm even saying anonymous, not because you could have attributed swift boating and anonymous swift boating. And he refused to do it. He refused. He needs to stay neutral on that issue. Why? Because he's a dirtbag that benefits from it when it serves his political purposes. They all are. So what I've given them is a Clermont County. I thought we were in Hamilton County because of the corruption and the lack of character, sorry. I've given them a Clermont County elected official honored pledge. I gave them a pen and they have each one. And it says just this: as a Clermont County elected official, I seek to be an exemplar both in my official capacity and my political activities. Therefore, I want to make the following clear to the community. I condemn elected officials, government employees, party committee members, or their spouses resorting to violence, making any threats of violence, encouraging any other person to resort to violence or threats of violence, using unattributed anonymous swift boat tactics, interfering in any law enforcement investigation, lying in the course of a law enforcement interview, and not coming forward to report on any of the above of which they have personal knowledge. Further, I condemn elected officials or government employees engaging in sex acts with subordinates during the workday. That would seem like it should be an obvious one, shouldn't it? Participating in or not reporting any corrupt or illegal act, or participating in or not reporting waste, fraud, or abuse. Now, I have given you each copies. I would like to see you right now, and I gave you even a flare pen so you can sign it so we can easily read it. I'm going to pause right now while you sign that. Come on, guys. What did I say that was controversial? Resorting to violence, threat of violence, not having sex acts with subordinates during the workday? Come on, let's do it. Any of you? Any of you? Bonnie? I thought you were a Christian woman. We know that when you sign things, they don't matter because you signed a thing saying you were only going to run for one term. So you can sign it. It won't matter. David? See, he is the head of the Republican Party in Clermont County, and he's a commissioner. He controls it from both sides, and it is corrupt, and he is an immoral man. And you're seeing it right now because when they're confronted to be held accountable, to sign, anybody in here would not sign this? Raise your hand if you would have a problem signing this. So I just wanted to make another example of the way that these people are. The way that these people are.
Mr. Hicks, your 5 minutes are up.
I guess here, I'll come up.
Thank you.
Any of you going to sign it? I'll
No.
pick it up.
Your 5 minutes are up.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Jen. My name is Jennifer Mazzucchelli, Mazzuckelli. I live in Union Township. I guess I want to talk about representation today. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we're just having a difficult time getting an opportunity to communicate with our representatives, whether it's state representatives, whether it's federal representatives. And this is how it's the purview of the county commissioners. They, as part of their job, they communicate with state and federal local leaders. As a matter of fact, just recently, they had a meeting with David Taylor, our state representative, who will not meet with his local constituents. There's a lot of stuff going on. There are, we're beginning a trade war with our allies, and that could have a significant impact on the auto industry, and And I hope you guys bought those $83,000 cars already, because if not, the price could go up pretty quickly. Construction costs could be affected by trade wars. So all of these things that you're going to be building, that could be affected. Farmers, grain, there could be huge tariffs put on farmers, which they could already be affected. I don't know if you have, since I've brought it up before, done an assessment on how many farmers in Clermont County have been affected by the end of the U.S. aid contract, as well as the frozen funds that have been illegally and unconstitutionally frozen. How many people are affected by that? They're talking about laying off, I think it was 50% of the IRS force. Maybe it was $7,000, but that processes your taxes. So if you think that you get bad results from the IRS getting your tax returns right now, it'll get worse. Social Security, 7,000 employees from Social Security. If you have problems relating with your how many people in the county are affected by all of these mass layoffs? And we don't have the whole point of being able to communicate with our representatives is to give them feedback on whether or not what they're doing is what we want. Because the idea that because you are elected by the people, everything you do is what the people want, regardless of what they say, is bonkers. And it's contrary to what our government was founded on. I mean, I go to meetings people are dissatisfied about in this county. They're dissatisfied about some of the building stuff, the housing annexes. I personally am getting flashbacks to 2008 when we had the housing crash, because I had a house built in 2005. And I mean, I experienced what happens to new developments when the housing market crashes. And we're on the cusp of all that. The Wall Street Journal is predicting we could enter into a recession if we continue with these things. And we are not able to communicate with our representatives because they're no longer going to be doing in-person town halls. So I figured, since, America, democracy, history, whatever, and I think a universal value that we all share is the founding documents of our country. I wanted to close out by reading a short excerpt from one of the founding documents. It's from Letters from a Farmer in Pennsylvania to the Inhabitants of the British Colonies. It was written in 1768 by John Dickerson. And if you're interested in reading the whole document or the whole excerpt of the document, I got it from the National Constitution Center in their founding document section. And those who are taxed without their own consent, expressed by themselves or their representatives, are slaves. We are taxed without our own consent, expressed by ourselves or our representatives. We are therefore slaves. So the point is, if these which tariffs are a tax on the American people, and if our taxes are going to cuts that we are not okay with, then basically we're being taxed without our own representation. So since our representatives are not talking to us, and since, as Mr. Hicks said, you are the representative of the county GOP and also the president of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, you have the ability to reach out to all of our representatives for the state and federal government and tell them we would like a meeting with them, as is our constitutional right.
Thank you. Anyone else? Tell us who you are, where you live.
My name's Andrew Stover, and I live at 2355 Rolling Acres Drive, Amelia, Tate Township, Ohio. So there's been some changes since the last time that I've been here, and I'd really like to thank Sheriff Stratton, his narcotics unit, and his detectives. And it's amazing what happens with the change from Sheriff Leahy to Sheriff Stratton. And I let everybody kind of think about that. When power changes hand, things happen. So, my voice went unheard for 3 years. And, Sheriff Stratton actually came to my house, and I really appreciate that and the effort and what the Sheriff's Department's done, to protect us and to keep us safe in this county. We rely on the Sheriff's Department. I know that the Tate Township just got rid of Deputy Pike. He was our local sheriff, and I'm going to miss him. The Monroe Township deputy visits my house on a regular basis, and, we're kind of friends. And, I'd really like to thank the Sheriff's Department because I appreciate what they do. So today, the reason that I'm here, I should be working. I just got back from Florida, visiting my parents after the hurricane, but, I've reached out to Monroe Township to declare this place a nuisance property. And I've been raising this red flag for 3 years, like short of me literally bringing a red flag in here and waving it around. I've verbally done that with you guys, and I appreciate what you've done as well. But our township trustees did not have any idea that it was their responsibility to declare this property a nuisance property. They thought it was the county's job. And I got people bouncing me back and forth all the time. You guys are government officials, like with the trustees and everybody else. And we all should know what our responsibilities are. So I'm glad that I kind of brought that to their attention because, there's a lot of blight properties in Monroe Township. And, maybe now, some of that will get cleaned up. I think that Clermont County getting better all the time is, it's kind of our goal. It's a good place to live. And we want it to continue to be a good place to live. Well, today I got subpoenaed to court for people that were trespassing on my property from this nuisance property. And read a quick article here from the Clermont Sun. July 1st, 2021, grand jury county indicted 4 individuals relating to the death of Goshen Township resident Amanda Philpott, 26, and indictments are as follows. James Thompson, Milford, tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse, permitting drug abuse. Jeffrey Payne Loveland, Ohio, tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse. Charles Andre Dion Likens, Loveland, Ohio, tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse. Michael Anthony Young, Goshen, Ohio, tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse. These people wrapped this woman up in plastic and threw her out in a nature preserve in Brown County. They went straight out 131, wrapped this girl up and tossed her out. One of these individuals is who I'm going to court with today. And he was trespassing through my rental property where my son's mother lives. And, they were meeting right there. The girl that he met with finally got charged with possession of methamphetamine almost a year later after the Sheriff's Department did a search warrant, February 29th of 2024. So this is still continuing to affect me every single day. I'm missing work to come to court when I've already given them, a video of what happened. And it's okay. It's a means to an end. I get that. But I've reached out to Julia Carney. I don't know if she works up here in this office here, but, I don't know if we need another prosecutor that deals with this kind of stuff. This has gone on way too long. I reached out to this woman 4 weeks ago, have never heard back, and Mr. Young, at the end of this article here, I know I only got 50 seconds left, but defendant James Thompson was also indicted on 1 count of permitting drug abuse. So the resident of this place, he got charged with permitting drug abuse. What about the landlord? What about the owner of this property that's known about this nuisance property for 3 years, has done absolutely nothing? I gave a citizen's complaint affidavit to the prosecutor outlining just about everything that this man had known. I got recorded conversations with him left and right, and he still hasn't been charged with permitting drug abuse. They said they weren't going to charge him because of his age. He's 92 years old. And they said they weren't going to charge him because of that. If I murder somebody at 92, I'm going to prison. We just need to get it. I mean, pardon my language, but, for the landlord to get away with this is bullshit.
Thanks, Andy. Anyone else?
Hi, Tracy Hawkins from Union Township. I spoke over the last 2 weeks here about Tank and his unnecessary fate at the shelter and have offered to be a resource to help resolve the myriad issues at the Clermont Animal Shelter. Clearly, I care about this issue, and I'm devoting my time and energy to sourcing possible solutions that are in the best interest of those animals. I encourage you to find a way to embrace the talent and experience of the individuals and the organizations in our community who are available and, again, desperately want to help. I definitely agree with Julie's comments that going forward does not mean we turn a blind eye on the past. We have to learn from our past years of experience and what works and what doesn't work. But to be successful in developing proper and effective shelter operations means we have to do it with a collaborative mindset. There is a way to solve this, and the only way forward really is to do that with a collaborative mindset and keeping the best interest of the animals at the forefront. I know there's a lot of debate on social media that kind of tends to get away from that. I encourage anyone that wants to resolve this issue to reach out to me, and let's work together to do it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sure.
First, I want to say I wasn't going to come today.
Tell us who you are and where
Oh, sorry. I was going to. My name is Jody Wilson. I go by Joe Wilson. I live in Williamsburg Township. On a note from what Andy said, just so there's not a misunderstanding, when Officer Pike was voted not to be the law enforcement for Tate Township, the trustees did not vote on that. The people did, not the trustees of Tate Township. I did want to make that clear. People that know me know I hate speaking in public. I hate it. I've said the same thing to the township trustees where I live. And Tim Heidel, I know you're out there, so it's not about me why I'm saying this. I've had a speech impediment since I was a child. I struggle speaking in public because I pronounce words wrong and so forth. I'm not a professional writer. I have been torn apart both sides of the fence since a newsletter went out from the league. I am not here to bash the league. I respect what they have done, but it has caused division and it could have been avoided. You have not been transparent to us what was going on with the league. We weren't aware of it. You kept it secret from the public. That's wrong. It's wrong. David, if you would spend 1 ounce of your time listening to us that you do on social media, you spend hours and hours and hours on there. Yes, I did make a statement. Maybe it wasn't nice. I said David Painter is an idiot. The shelter most certainly is in dire straits. And your reply back to me was, when did you visit the shelter? The staff there informed me that they have never seen you there. It's kind of creepy, kind of stalky. So now you have informants regarding me because you don't like me and you've made that clear. Why would I set myself up to walk into that shelter because you don't like me? Angie Livesay, if she's in here, don't like me. Why would I set myself up because you tried to kick me out of a meeting? Slam your gavel down. Why would I set myself up to have done to me what was done to Roger Vogel? I'm not stupid. I am not dumb. The reason why I come here every week and I hate it, and I have to revamp my schedule because I have commitments, is because of that dog that was here. That is why I come here. And when I state that I've been in animal rescue 30 years, it's not to pat me on the back. It's to let you know I didn't fall off the turnip wagon yesterday. I've been involved in rescue 30 years. Am I one of the well-known names out in the rescue world? No. But I do so much that you aren't even aware of. I'm here for the animals. This has got to stop. Tracy, her expertise. Oh my gosh. Have you looked at her credentials? You should be blessed to have her come here. Oh, her busy schedule. You know, she's a lawyer. You know how busy her schedule is. Something has to be done. It's not about us. I'm here for the animals. That is the only reason why I'm here. Please listen to us. We want to work with you, but you don't want to work with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll close public participation. We will move on with the agenda. Thanks for being here today. Board letter D is the consent agenda. You've had the consent agenda early. You've had an opportunity to review it. Are there any items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda for further consideration? None? Roll call, Gam.
Commissioner Corcoran, I'll make the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Second. Roll call, Gam.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. We'll move to letter E, which is the non-consent agenda. Non-consent starts on page 4, item number 10. Recommendation that the Board of Commissioners adopt resolution number 018-25 to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $1,291,877.79 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated March 5th, 2025, the BCC directed prepaid invoice reports, and the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on 3/3/2025, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants pursuant and in compliance with section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. To have a motion to approve to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
And moved in second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 11. Lease
Commissioners?
agreement? Nope.
It's
That's with the Clermont County Board of Elections, right? Okay.
Recommendation to approve a lease agreement between the Clermont County Board of Elections and the Rubel Family Limited Partnership LLC on Rocky Hill Drive in Hamilton, Ohio. This is for the lease of a storage facility for election equipment pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code 3501.10 for the items listed below. For the term of April 2025 through March 2026, $4,000 per month, $4,120 per month for the next year, $4,240 per month for 2027 through 2028, $4,360 per month, 2028 through 2029, $4,480 per month, 2029 through 2030. Sorry, folks.
Or you've heard the reading of item number 11. Do you have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion, but I have a question on it.
Okay. It's been moved.
I'll second.
It's second.
Um,
Floor is open.
My question is, the Board of Elections is aware of this and the
Yes,
extension of time?
yes. Stephanie Haight is aware of it.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. I appreciate the answer.
And then just for some further, this is at the Red Barn
Yes.
facility.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
That's where
people
they
don't
store all their
realize
equipment.
The machines that are actually used during the voting process
Yes.
are stored at this location.
And the
And
training,
this is where they're calibrated and
right,
Yes.
all the work that has to be done.
great, thank you.
The location is here.
It's at the Red Barn facility. Mhm. Yep. Over on Haskell, is that right? Haskell Drive?
Haskell Drive.
That's the owners that are in Hamilton. That's why that's on there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor? Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 12. Now you're up. Morning.
A recommendation to authorize David Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, or in his absence, any other member of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute Amendment Number 1 to the Ohio Department of Youth Services Juvenile Court Grant Agreement and Funding Application Update between the Clermont County Board of Commissioners and the State of Ohio Department of Youth Services for and on behalf of the Clermont County Juvenile Court for the Reclaim Ohio Grant Subsidy Program and the Youth Services Grant Subsidy Program for fiscal year 25, previously approved by the Board of Commissioners on July 10th, 2024, for the biennial period commencing July 1st, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2025, and to update the agreement for the realignment of funds, which represents an increase of $25,637.24 to the overall total program cost for a revised amount of $1,689,927.42, with all other terms and conditions of the agreement to remain in full force and effect.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
And moved in second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thank you. I wasn't. I'll go back. Item number 13.
Sergeant Newsom from the jail. Recommendation, item number 13 is a recommendation to execute change order number 1 to the contract for the adult detention north floor replacement and with Diversify LLC, Epoxy SI, 5792 State Route 128, Cleves, Ohio, for the additional prep along the walls and recently polished areas. Install flexible polyurethane security sealant, approximately 5,500 linear feet in the following areas: the day rooms of A through F blocks, approximately 96 cells, and the second floor connectors, which represents an increase of $35,750 for a total adjustment contract price to date of $293,100 and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Been moved in second. Any further conversation or discussion? By the way, the adult detention center is immaculate and in great
Very
shape.
much so.
I mean, whenever we tour that facility and we see the cleanliness there, and I know when other sheriffs come in and representatives from other counties, they say the same thing. So really appreciate that. You know, I know that's a lot of hard work to do. That's for sure. And for those that don't know, on a daily population, you guys have about 300 people in that jail. And that's a lot of folks to take care of and keep something that clean. So we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 14. Hello, Jessica.
All right. This is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 019-25, resolving to amend resolution number 154-24, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 12/18/2024, for the necessity, sorry, to purchase or lease of the motor vehicles for the use of the county commissioners, any county department, board, commission, office, agency, or any elected county official or any county elected officials' employees at the revised estimated price of $3,457,263 from funds appropriated for the calendar year 2025 pursuant to section 307.1.41 of the Ohio Revised Code and in compliance with the sections 307.86 through 307.92 of the Ohio Revised Code. So this is just an amendment to the original motor vehicle purchase.
Thank you. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion?
No.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 15. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Item 15 is a recommendation to amend Appendix 4.10 of the Clermont County Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual with respect to our schedule of rates of pay. That's to reflect a 2.5% increase in the minimum rates of pay and a 10% increase in the maximum rates of pay, with a resulting increase in the median rates for all pay ranges in the schedule effective December 23rd, 2024, and to authorize the update of the internet links and appendices.
Board, you've heard the reading on number 15. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any further clarification? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 16.
Item 16 is a recommendation to authorize the preparation and processing of record-only munis personnel action forms for all eligible employees under the jurisdiction of the board to reflect the salary range increases based on merit performance evaluations and calculations as prepared for the evaluation period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, with respective increases as outlined in the matrix C attached thereto to be effective December 23rd, 2024.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 16. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I will second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thank you, Sandy. Item 17.
She's back.
All right, this is a recommendation to approve the application for payment number 34 and 35 for the construction and substantial completion of the juvenile court expansion and renovation project to Mark Spalding Construction at 5785 Constitution Drive, Florence, Kentucky 41042, which represents the partial release of retainage in the amount of $320,456.62 in compliance with the terms and conditions of the contract and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the recommendation. Item number 17. Do I have a motion for approval?
I will make that motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Jessica, this is a partial retain. It's not close out completely. Okay.
We will be back for that.
Okay. Roll call again.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thank you. Item 18.
This is a recommendation to acknowledge the Board of County Commissioners received a virtual copy and now the original copy of Resolution 2025-09 on 2/26/2025 as adopted by the Board of Union Township Trustees on 2/25/2025. This is a request that the Board of County Commissioners vacate a portion of Woobald Lane and Larma Lane situated in Union Township in compliance with Ohio Revised Code Section 5553.045 and to establish the date, time, and location of the public hearing for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 at 11 o'clock a.m. in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, 45103-2960.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I will second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item 19.
Item 19 is a recommendation to acknowledge the receipt of the request by the county engineer to vacate a portion of Glen Estee Withamsville Road, County Road C55, situated in Union Township in compliance with Ohio Revised Code Section 5553.04 and to establish the date, time, and location of the public hearing for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 at 11:15 a.m. in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, 45103-2960.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 19. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Been moved and second. Anything further? Roll call again.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 20. Hi, Emily.
Hi, good morning, Board. I have a recommendation to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation, resolution number 151-24 for county year 2025. This is two supplemental appropriations. The Common Pleas Court Special Projects Temporary Pay for $18,000 and Common Pleas Court Special Projects Fringe Benefits for $2,500.
Or you've heard the reading of item number 20. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Then moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Okay. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran, Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Before I move on to additions, I want to go back to letter number B for approval of regular session minutes. I would make a motion that we rescind the approval of those minutes so that we can approve them correctly. I wasn't here on the 26th.
Okay.
Oh.
That's fine. Okay, I'll make the motion to rescind that.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Now I'd entertain a motion to approve the regular session minutes of 2/26/25.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter. Okay, thank you.
That worked out.
That did.
So we will move to F. Any additions to the agenda?
Commissioners, yeah, we have a petition for annexation that we need to add,
Okay.
as well as a resolution lowering the county-imposed dog adoption fees for the month of March.
Okay. And then the other add-on, we're going to wait, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Got it. Board, you've heard the need for the addition of two additions to the agenda, one for the petition for annexation from Williamsburg Township, and the other authorizing the lowering of the imposed fees associated with dog adoption. Do you have a motion to add these two items to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to add.
Second.
Then moved in second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Tom, you walking us through these? Or?
I'll go ahead and do the first one, which is the recommendation to acknowledge the filing of a petition for annexation of 1.3112 acres from Williamsburg Township, Clermont County, Ohio, to the village of Williamsburg, Clermont County, Ohio. Filed in the office of the Board of County Commissioners on Monday, March 3rd, 2025, by attorney Michael Menier, 628 Main Street, Milford, Ohio, for the agent Ronald L. Anderson and for petitioners Ronald L. Anderson and Michelle L. Anderson of 3286 Concord Hennings Mill Road, Williamsburg, Ohio. The parcel identification numbers are 523509I045B and 523509I047B. And to designate Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 at 11 a.m. local time in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, 3rd floor, Batavia, Ohio, as the date, time, and place for the public hearing. And to acknowledge the notification of the date, time, and place of the public hearing will be sent to the agent for the petitioners on Thursday, 3/6/2025 via email, all in compliance with Section 709.02 of the Ohio Revised Code and pursuant to Resolution Number 2103, previously adopted on 2/23/2003 by the Board of Clermont County Commissioners.
Board, you've heard the reading of the petition for annexation in the village of Williamsburg. Do I have a motion for approval? And this is just the filing of the petition.
This is the filing and notice of public hearing.
Yep. Do you have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Hi, Angie.
Hello. Resolution number on this.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey, it's 02. Yes.
All right.
Okay, I have a recommendation to adopt Resolution 020-25, hereby temporarily lowering the county-imposed dog adoption fees for dogs adopted on March 5th, 2025 through March 31st, 2025 for dogs aged 12 months and older to help alleviate the unusually high number of dogs being cared for, fed, and housed pursuant to Section 955 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Angie, thanks for reading that. You've heard the reading of the lowering of the adoption fees. Do I have a motion for approval?
I will make that motion. Second.
It's been moved and second. Anything further?
It's $60 for anything but puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually $120.
Anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Angie, thanks for all your hard work over there at the animal shelter. We appreciate it. And the team and the volunteers. Any other additions at this time?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay. We will move to letter G. Letter G, I'm requesting an executive session pursuant to 121.22G2 and 121.22G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to first consider the sale of property at competitive bidding or the sale of other disposition of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property in accordance with Section 505.10 of the Ohio Revised Code. If premature disclosure of the information would give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest. And second, to confer with the attorney for the board concerning disputes involving the board that are subject to pending or imminent court action. Or do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Been moved and second. Anything further? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we will proceed into executive session. We will return and conduct further business. Thank you. Return from executive session. There were no decisions made and no actions taken. We will move on with the agenda. We'll go back to additions to the agenda. Tom, any additions to the agenda?
We do. We have a authorization of a dismissal of claims against Miami Lucan.
Board, you've heard of the need to add this particular resolution to the agenda, a recommendation to authorize dismissal without prejudice of all claims by Clermont County defendant Miami Lucan Incorporated in case number 117 OP 45033. Do I have a motion to add this to the agenda?
I'll make the motion. Second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Jason, I understand you're here to walk us through this. Podium's yours.
Worked on my reading skills. I could read this
There you go.
for you. Jason Fountain, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. So this is a recommendation to authorize the dismissal without prejudice of all claims by Clermont County against defendant Miami Lucan Incorporated in case number 117 OP 45033. That's captioned Clermont County Board of County Commissioners of Ohio versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. As part of and in connection with the ongoing national opiate litigation, captioned as In Re National Prescription Opiate Litigation, case number 17 MD 2804, and authorizing any member of the Board of County Commissioners to execute any notice, filing, or other document to approve of or effectuate that dismissal. Should it be approved?
Board, you've heard the reading of the dismissal. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? None? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Tom, is that all the additions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will move on to H. H is county elected official discussion. Chris McClintock, the Director of Economic Development, is here with us today to talk about a golf course tax incentive and board vacancies. Chris, podium's yours.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Morning.
Thank you. I'll move this like David is.
Thank you.
If you recall, a few months ago, I came and talked to you about a tax exemption application that the county has received from the Osterfelds in consideration of a tax abatement for a golf course that's currently being developed. So if you can see the map here, I'll give you a little bit of background on the project and then where it stands today. So the golf course is being developed by Jeff and Jake Osterfeld in Stone Lake Township and Batavia Township. The bulk of it being in Stone Lake Township, with the lower right portion, the bottom portion of that map, 100 plus acres that are in Batavia Township and School District. It's located at 4987 State Route 222. If you've been up that road, you can see the land clearing and development is currently underway on this site. 6 parcels, almost 200 acres of site for this golf course development. It is set to be a private golf course from the communication they've put out, and the cost is in the low 7 figures as far as the development of this site. Estimated completion is 2027. That looked like a long time, a year or two ago. Now it's just right around the corner. And so the owners and operators have a history of operating golf courses. They currently operate the golf club at Stone Lake Hills. Next slide, please. So again, here's on the bigger map where it is by the blue star on the right side. And then there's a closer look at the actual parcels that they owned under the Veterans Club LLC. So what they're asking for is an exemption under Ohio Revised Code section 5709.52. It's not something that the county has been asked to do in the past. So this is our first recommendation, or our first application that we've received for this type of exemption. And I know with the housing development in Batavia Village that tax exemptions have been kind of a keynote for the folks in the county. So we did receive this application. We worked with council on how to process this, And this is different from any other type of tax exemption, like your CRAs, your enterprise zone, your TIF, any of those types of projects. So right now, when the Osterfelds purchased the property, they obviously didn't purchase it for the amount that farmland would sell for. They purchased that amount that would be for development. And so when they do that, the auditor then revalues that property at that sale price. So what this exemption does is it takes the sale price versus the prior valuation of the property, and you would pay the taxes on the new value that you purchased it for. This exemption allows you to pay for up to 6 years the value at the old value, the farm value, because this is a newer tax exemption by the state legislature. Because what would happen is a lot of developers, there's so much upfront cost when you're purchasing land, you're putting infrastructure in, you're building roads, streets, all of that, and their contention was we shouldn't have to pay the higher value on this property that we're putting millions and millions of dollars into. We're happy to do that once it gets developed, but all these upfront costs, this shouldn't have to bear this burden too. So the state legislature said, sure, you can do that as long as you get approval from the local jurisdiction or from the county. So how this works is the tax exemption is only for up to 6 years. So it can't go beyond 6 years, whether they develop it or not, 6 years at the most. It does go into effect when a building permit is issued. So once the golf course is developed, the buildings are up, and that building permit is issued, then it goes to the normal tax roll and gets dispersed normally as it normally would on the new value of the property. So again, they plan to have this done by 2027. So it would really only be about 2 years of actual savings while they're doing this. So that's kind of where we're at on this project. When I came here a few months ago, you said you had asked me to go out to the jurisdictions which will be impacted and talk with them. I've done that. I've met with Stone Lake Township. I met with Batavia Township, Clermont Northeastern Schools, Batavia Schools. None of them have objections to this project. They're clear on how it works, that it's a short window, and it's not, quite frankly, a lot of money that they'll be out for an extended period of time. So they all have agreed and have no objections. So at this point, I'm kind of asking for further direction now that I've come back saying that there are no objections from these folks. Would you like me to move forward with processing the application and work with legal counsel on that? Do you have more questions, concerns? Any more research you would like done?
Board, anything? And so, Tom, the path forward on this would be to go ahead with an application and then have another informational session on this?
Well, if I can interject, the application's been submitted.
Okay.
We're to the point now where if there's no objections, we would likely proceed without more questions or any information you need from me with resolution that would actually put this into effect on these parcels.
But the resolution would come back to the board.
Correct. Oh, correct. Yes.
I think
yes.
that was the question, was what action would come back to the board?
Yes. It'd be the resolution actually.
Resolution.
Yeah. And placing the tax exemption on those parcels. And there are notifications. So we haven't done anything formal yet. So there's required letters that we have to, just like if we're doing a TIF or an enterprise zone or a CRA, there's required letters to the school districts, the townships, and they have 30 days to comment, raise concerns, things like that. So, and then after that expiration time, then we would follow up with a resolution to this board for consideration.
But if you've already talked to them, there probably won't be any.
That's why we did it ahead of time. We always find it's better to reach out as opposed to them get a letter in the mail saying, what is this?
So do you want to get this in front of the board in a week or in 2 weeks?
No, time is not of the essence on this, meaning I would like it off of our plate, so to say, but no, I've got the letters that have been drafted by council to send out. So I think there's a 30-day comment window on that. And so it would be following that. So it would probably be April, May before we would come back to this board with
The board members, that gives
resolution.
you an opportunity to research this and make sure you understand everything there is about it. So, okay.
So it'll come back in front of you if you're amenable to that, and we'll get all that, the legalese worked out and then answer any other questions that could come up.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, you got
We got other things.
Right.
Other things. We have a couple board vacancies under my department that we need some volunteers for. We have one current opening on our planning commission, and really two openings because we have one member that is asking to resign, but is willing to stay on until his replacement. So we have two kind of open positions on our planning commission. We've put it out there before to the public. We haven't had a whole lot of luck. So I'm asking anyone if you have any folks that you would recommend. They are appointed by the commissioners, or anybody watching or in the audience that would be interested. Submit your resume to us, and then we'll vet that and get it to the board for consideration. And then we also have an opening on our building appeals board. So that is the board that works with our building department, our chief building official. And if a applicant has a disagreement with a finding from the building department, then they can appeal to this board. And it's made up of people in the industry. So right now we need somebody that's an engineer or an attorney to fill that seat. And we have an opening for a custom builder, but we have two local builders that are interested to sit on that. So if anybody's interested in that, or you know anybody with a background in the building trades, or an attorney or an engineer, we need somebody to fill that spot too. And I'll work with communications to try to get something out on social media.
I was going to ask, is Ursula moving in that direction to get that out to anyone that might want to be considered?
I think we're to the point now where I really want to put this out there. We need to get these positions.
One thing is they do have to fill out the board's application.
Yes.
Yes. So it's not just submitting a resume.
And they can fill that out and submit it.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have, commissioners.
That's it? No other county or officials that want to discuss?
Sure.
All right, then we will move to member comments. Board members, any comments?
Other than, is this weekend spring ahead? Is this our daylight, please? Isn't it? I think so.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Sunday.
Spring forward.
I see a lot of nodding of heads in the
Forward.
back, so yes.
Bring forward. Have strong coffee for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to talk about a little bit, talk about America 250. You know, we are starting to come in to some celebration activities. You know, things are going on in Clermont County. We talked about that at the last meeting, not last week's meeting, but the meeting before. You know, we talked about the Grant statue at Bethel, and we've talked about the murals that are going to be built all over town. There's another coming up here, and it is the anniversary of the Ride of Paul Revere. And so that's a 1775 to 2025. And that is something that the Visitors Bureau will have some activities for. So just want to make sure everybody is aware of that. I think you remember that famous poem by Wadsworth, you know, and what he said about that. So, you know, that might come with some interesting things. One of the things is 2 lamps. Counties associations are asking for 2 lanterns to be lit at the courthouse of every county for the anniversary of that date. So just to kind of put that out there, you know, Ursula is going to be working on some information to get out to the counties so they understand when that's going to be. And obviously that ride was at 12 o'clock at night. So started from the North Church. So just kind of wanted to call your attention to that. We've all went to these meetings and we've kind of talked about it, but now we're going to start to see some of those activities come out. So with that, that's all I had. Anything else? Okay. Then I would go to letter J, adjournment, or do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran, Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we stand in adjournment. Thanks for being here today, and we will see you next Monday, right? Meeting
Yes,
on
on Monday the 10th.
Monday the 10th. Thanks for attending.